Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from Metre Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at a keyboard that I've been wanting to take a look at since I heard about it. I previously took a look at the F98, but that was before the F75 came out, and the F75 has just gone gangbusters. I mean, everybody loves their F75, and the F99, from what I understand, was kind of built in that image, so it's kind of like an upgraded F98, but it's taken a lot of the features of the F75. Now, I do also have the F99 Pro, which I will be reviewing in a separate video, but I will also be able to share the difference that I find. I know one thing that Aula / Leobog, primarily Aula, they're the same, or they're sister companies. SOAI is the corporate company, but for the most part, the Aulas have a specific thing that they do with Pro nomenclature, but we'll test that out here shortly. Anyway, this is an 1800 mechanical keyboard. I do believe that this might just be wired only. No, it's wireless. So, but this is the F99 regular, and if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have north-facing LEDs. But without further ado, let's go ahead and open it up and see what this Aula has to offer. Now, as always, I do like to take a look at what's in the box before we start taking a look at the keyboard. We do have a user manual that has all the shortcuts, how to connect to the different modes, switching modes, and how to control all the lights. We'll probably be taking a closer look at this here in a little bit. Now, we do have a user guide card, which is always handy. These I usually tend to keep around for like the first day or two, or a little while that I'm using a new keyboard, especially if they have any key mappings that I'm not familiar with. We also have a black rubberized USB-A to USB-C cable. We have a standard switch and wire keycap puller. And we have a bag with 2 extra switches. I'm not sure what switch is in here. We'll have to take a look when we get to the spec section. But at least we get to get a little preview. And I want to appreciate Aula for including extra switches on pre-built keyboards, especially if they're, I mean, obviously being hot swap keyboards, but including a few extra switches is just, I think it's just a good, it's a good way to, you know, show your customers that, hey, we understand sometimes things can happen, losing a switch, breaking a switch, whatever the case may be, having a couple of spare switches so that the keyboard can continue to sound uniform. Because I mean, sure, we could pull out a switch from another keyboard, but it might feel or sound different. So having that extra switch is a really good thing, and I always appreciate when they include it. Now this, it appears to be, it's a wing latch switch with what appears to be a light blue, almost like a grayish blue bottom with a little bit more bluish of a top, and is a linear. It's fairly smooth, has a nice bottom out, and it's pretty light. And here we are with the Aula F99. Now this is the blue-black edition, I do believe. Thankfully, Aula includes, just like Leobog does, a dust cover. Keeping a dust cover on your keyboard when not in use, the longer your keyboard's going to last. All right, so taking a look here, we've got a chunky boy. This is something that I think I remember from the F98, that they had the caps lock indicator light. Instead of changing the color on an RGB, they actually have just a little light right next to it, which is always nice. I mean, besides that, the only thing better, in my opinion, would be a caps lock with a window on it that would actually change color, you know, to actually stand out from any RGB you might have running. Now we do have a nice light bar here. We have a fairly standard 1800 layout with the expanded arrow cluster. We don't have a navigation column, but we do have the navigation row. We've got the delete key in the F13 spot, and we've got a standard 0, a 1U, 0 for the numpad. But other than that, the keys remain the same. It looks like we have a double shot set on here. It almost looks like a mix between black on white, This could be Apollo? No. What's the black on blue? Can't recall right now. That could be like dark hammerhead. But it looks like it's a combination of like 3 different colorways that are known. And I actually like this combination. There's times I mix up keycaps from different keycap sets to get new looks. But the legends are nice and clear. That's a familiar curved M, so it's going to be probably the 1.5 millimeter keycaps. Measure these really quick. Wow, these are actually coming into 1.7 millimeters of thickness. I mean, okay, zero it out. What? Yeah, 1.7. That is nice. That is really nice. Real quick sound preview, because I do believe that this does carry over a lot of that creamy sound profile that the F75 has. Sounds really nice, very pleasant. Taking a look at the case, we have a nice beveled edge. I do like that light bar right there in the middle. Taking a look at the back, it looks like we have an aluminum plate there over the switch, which allows us to select from Bluetooth or 2.4 connectivity. We have the USB Type-C connector, and we have a pocket with a branded USB 2.4 gigahertz connector, which is always appreciated because we can match it to a product. Even if we have a couple, it's only going to be a couple we have to test before we figure out which one it goes to, because though it can be done, most manufacturers do not offer a way to get a replacement 2.4 dongle, which is unfortunate. I mean, obviously, not everybody has Logitech's nano receiver technology, but it would be nice if they standardize, because that way then you could basically just do like you do on Bluetooth. And if you have a new 2.4 dongle because you lost the one, you put it into pairing mode and on 2.4 mode, and then pair it to that dongle. I mean, we have the technology to do it. Why that's not an option, I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. So we've got a really nice, hefty, there's literally no flex to this thing. It is pretty solid. It does have a nice weight to it. We do have 2 pairs of feet, so we're going to have the 3 different typing angles. And we have our sticker saying the model. Like I said, I will be doing a review of the F99 Pro and pulling this out so that we can actually figure out what differences there are between the two. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stabilizer situation here. All right, we pull out these really nice, I like blue, but it matches, in my opinion, the color of the switch matches the theme of the keycaps. All right, remove these plate mounted stabilizers. Check these out. We do have a decent amount of lubrication inside of the stem on the wire, and we also have lubrication on the elbows of the wire, which is good. Below on the PCB, we do see that we have a PET layer above the PCB with a IXPE layer above that. Might be feeling the battery. I don't feel any foam below, and there does seem to be what could be pour-on between the PC, gasket-mounted PC plate, but we'll have to take a look at it another day. There is no support for screw-in stabilizers, but these do appear to be quite well attached. I really love how far stock stabilizers have come. Used to be just something that you just had to do because they either needed rebuilding or replaced. They always need a little bit of work. Now these are actually pretty well attached. They have good tolerances. I don't think that's going to cause any issue. I mean, didn't cause any issue in the preview of the sound test. So Those are quite well made. Yeah, these are double shot. They appear to be OEM. Oh no, they're cherry. Never mind. These are cherry, double shot PVT cherry keycaps. So this is the black and blue colorway, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what it looks like with the lights turned on. Nice. All right, so we definitely have a nice bright RGB. The plate, PC plates, a lot of time act as a diffuser and help that light really spread out beneath the keycaps and really stand out. Let's take a look real quick. That's the caps lock indicator, right in a good spot. And then we can obviously function up and down, controls the light brightness, and function right and left is going to control the speed of any effect you might have. Now I'm going to say, yep, just like on a lot of keyboards, the function backslash is going to be your cycling through the effects. Now we do have that couple of lights coming up, like under the 4. I think that's just showing us our connection mode. And then we also have the ability to do Android, Windows, Mac, and iOS. So it has 4 different OS connectivity modes, or OS modes, which is actually pretty nice. Function escape will give us the factory reset. And then if we select an individual color effect, then we can use function tab to go through the colors. So we've got good light functionality, we've got a nice layout, and we have what is a good sounding, good feeling keyboard that has very nice weight to it. It comes from a company that, honestly, like I said, I haven't had any problem with any of the Aulas that I've been reviewing lately, and I use them in my rotation because I like how they sound, I like how they feel. I like the Leobog switches from their sister company, and I don't know, I just think that they're well made. I just think that Aula puts out well made keyboards that are thoughtful, and I believe that they're listening to what people have to say, because I always see improvements, just the specs. Today we are taking a look at the Aula F99, a 3-mode 1800 plastic mechanical keyboard. It comes with a gasket mounted PC plate, is available in a number of colorways, has a 3 and 5 pin hot swap compatible PCB, and does not have support for screw-in stabilizer, but does include the hi-fi layers as well as dampening. It comes preloaded with a Leobog linear switch and double-shot PBT cherry keycaps that come measuring in at 1.7 millimeters. This keyboard comes weighing in at 1,165 grams and has a battery capacity of 8,000 milliamp hours. The chin of this keyboard sits at 22 millimeters above the typing surface, while the back sits at 25, providing for a default typing angle of 5 degrees. Flipping down the first set of feet will take the back height up to 30 millimeters and change your angle of typing to 8 degrees. Flipping out the final set of fold-out feet will take the back height to 38 millimeters, change your angle of typing to 11 degrees. The MSRP for this keyboard is $89.99 from Aula's website. Links below. All right, so for the software, we can go to aulastar.com/driver and select Aula International. It will take us to their Google Drive link that'll have driver links for all of the international models. I find it just easier to just hit Control F and search for the model. In this case, just the F99. There seems to be 2, but I think I'll just get the newest one. They both are the same size. They're probably both the same. So we go ahead and download Aula F99.zip. Once we have it, we go through the setup. It's a pretty standard setup. Next, install, and then we go ahead and check it off to run. Once it loads up, it does kind of look like there is the ability for other keyboards here. I'm not quite sure, but I will check when we take a look at the F99. We see that we have the default layer, the F1, F2, as well as tap. Functionally, we have 3 different layers that we can work with here. Tap basically gives you one action if you press and hold the key for up to a second or more than a half a second usually, but you can adjust. And tap is when you just press it really quick and let go. It can basically double up a key. Now, we also have profiles that allow us to store those different set of function layers as different profiles. In the light effects section, we see that we have selection of all the different light effects, which we can cycle through using the key shortcuts, but we can also select a fixed on, which can be done through the shortcuts as well. Just remember that for any change you make, you want to hit the floppy disk icon or the save icon. We do have a basic macro editor. This is one of the most popular base closed source software that I've seen for a lot of keyboards. So it's fairly complete in what you need. I mean, I have seen more advanced macro editors than this, but for the most part, you'll be able to replicate macros should you have any, at least if they're not too complex. Then we have the effect section. That's one of the reasons I know it's one of these software that a lot of these keyboards use. It's the music effects section. You can turn it on and select which effect to match your music. And at last, we have the settings section, which gives us the device info, allows us to select the language, allows us to auto run the software. We can set what to happen when we exit. We can turn on tap and adjust the sensitivity. You may tap it a little bit longer. You can use that bar to adjust. We have sleep, which we can turn on or off or set the time for when it will go to sleep. And then we can set debounce rate. If for some reason the switches that you're using, you're finding that you're getting double key presses, you can usually use debounce to adjust that. And of course, we have reset to factory, reset the settings, and we have a firmware update check. Where there is no update for this one, so we can go ahead and bypass. So we have a well-built 1800, good amount of features, decent software. Like I said, it's about probably the most common closed source software that I've seen, but it allows you to do pretty much anything that you're going to need to do. It even has multiple layers, which there's a lot of keyboards out there that don't even have layers. You can redefine the keys, but that's it. There's no layers below that. There's different profiles, and that's it. So you have the ability to program it as you need. That said, you have most of the keys that you're going to use here, and if there's any key, like you don't ever use page up, page down, but you need print screen and scroll lock, say, or pause, you can reprogram those to do it. Again, I wish they would have included at least a couple of extra keys there so that you could make the choice. But, you know, one of the big things that is fun about mechanical keyboards is being able to customize it yourself. So if for some reason you want to switch out the switches, this is going to be a great base. Personally, I like how this is set up. It has the keys that I need. The only thing that I would do is the insert under the delete key, because that's the only key that I need that I don't have. Other than that, I can go ahead and use this, and I'm going to put it into my cycle and use it. So if I like to, when I come back to a keyboard, usually to mod it, or at least open it up and see what's inside of it, take something out, take something in, replace some switches, whatever it might be. I can have some feedback as, okay, I've been using this now, you know, on and off for this amount of time, and I found this A, B, C, or D, or, you know, report back basically if there's any issues and so on. But so far, I have a handful of Aula keyboards, and they do make it through my cycle fairly regularly, and I have yet to have a single issue with any of my Aula units. Obviously, knock on wood for that one, but I don't know. There's a lot of brands. I know I didn't get into arcade until a little bit later, but all of my arcade boards that I have, and I have, I think my first one was probably 2021. So You know, I didn't get them before like 2020, but all of them still work. Again, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself. Anyway, Aula, Leobog, I find that their keyboards, they've only been improving. They've only gotten better, and I enjoy using them. They sound great out of the box, but they also, like I said, serve for a great bass if you want to go in there and modify it. Got a good set of features, good amount of battery power, well designed. The MSRP is a little higher, but you can get discounts either through their site. But I will say that I have seen it on sale for significantly cheaper than the MSRP. Not that I don't think it's worth the MSRP, it's just that nowadays in the market you can get a lot more as far as like aluminum is concerned, and just better features at this price range. So that kind of makes this more competitive at a lower price. Again, though, it is a great keyboard, nice bass, nice keycaps, great switches, pretty good range. I actually had it still connected through the 2.4 to my video station, was in a couple rooms over, and it was actually still working. I was wondering why my video workstation was complaining when I was just typing on it. It was this, because I was starting on stop recording. As always, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with a stock sound test of Aula F99. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for when I come back to it, please let me know down in the comment section below. I do my best to respond to comments as quickly as possible. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with a stock sound test of the Aula F99. I want to wish everybody out there a wonderful rest of your day. And until the next transmission, keep calm and keep it on.